Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a review of MS Paint. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to open up MS Paint. We have, just starts you out with a fresh new document. You can go ahead and select new, and let's jump right into it here. So, as far as the whole page goes, there's a full page. You got sliders. You can even actually adjust the size here. So if you're doing something that's a little bit smaller, you can just adjust the size as you like. So I'm going to go over some of the tools that are inside this program here. So first, I'm going to cover tools. We've got a pencil here, and you just bring your mouse over to where the paper's at, and by holding down the left click, you can draw. And there's another cool feature that they have here is there's also a bucket tool, which allows you to fill in the entire thing. See that? Isn't that cool? I'm gonna select the white color here and fill that back out. But then the next thing that we have here is there's actually a text feature. So if you just kind of select the text feature and you hold down, and you can drag however big you want the area to be, and you can actually type something in. Let me actually make this a little bit bigger. So another cool thing about the text feature is that you can change the text size. It even has like font options, so you can bold it, you can italicize it, you can underline it, you can even cross it out for some reason. And you can change the you can change the font itself to be whatever you want it to be, which I think is great. I'm just gonna put it on Comic Sans because I think that looks the most professional. Here's another cool thing is you can make it transparent, or you can make it opaque if you want. I prefer to just make it transparent. You can actually change the color of it as well, just by going into the color section. So I'm gonna make it this light green, and then you just click off, and there you have it. Next, I'm gonna go over the eraser. There's a really cool feature of the eraser. So you can just kind of hold in the left click. You can kind of just move over. Selecting, and alright, it's all set. Another thing is you have the sizes. So you can go under the sizes, and you can actually change the size of not only the eraser, but also the pen tool. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. But yeah. Actually, I'm gonna take this moment here to show you something else. There's this little eyedropper. So if you select it and you click on a color, it will actually change the color for you. That way you don't have to go and figure out what the correct color was that you used. But yeah. Next thing is the zoom, which is a very cool function. It's very handy. So you can actually zoom in on whatever you're doing by left clicking, or if you right click, you can zoom out, which is really handy. Next, we're going to go over the select function. So there's a couple different things you can do with the select function. Is you can go with the rectangular selection, which allows you to just go over this, and then you can proceed to move it. Or if you right click on it, you can copy it, and then you can paste it. So stick it there, or you can even crop it, which just kind of like takes everything, shrinks it down. Or you can also rotate it. So you just kind of rotate it in any direction you want, really. You can resize it to be any shape or size. You can invert the color, which I think is pretty cool. But another thing that you can do is you can go to freeform selection, which allows you to just free draw whatever you want, and then you can pick it up that way as well. Like, say if you only wanted to get a certain, shape out of this, you can just kind of free draw with the mouse by holding left click, and then you can remove that section alone and be a little bit more transformative with it. Next thing I'm going to show you is brushes. So they have a bunch of different brushes. They have the normal paintbrush, which allows you to, you can just draw similar to like a paintbrush. Or they have oil brush, which creates for a more realistic one. You can create little layering paints, which I think is cool. In fact, I'm going to select a new color here, black. It's very, very cool. You can also go over to this watercolor brush, which adds for new layering. I think that's pretty cool. You've got this, which is kind of like an oil pen, so you can do like cool calligraphy with it and stuff, which is nice. Then you have another form of it, which is just a lot more fine, which I think is pretty neat. They have the spray paint, so you can just kind of spray all that paint like that. They have my favorite, which is the crayon, so you can go ahead and it looks like a crayon, which I think is pretty cool. Let me just get rid of a lot of that, cut that out. And then they have the marker tool, which is just, it's like a marker. I like how it has like you can layer it, so it gets darker each time you go over it, which I think is pretty cool. And then finally we have the pencil one, which I think is pretty cool. Let me just create a new one here. And then next we have the shapes. So you can do lines. You can do this very strange one, which is it's called the curve. So you can draw a single line like the normal line, but after you've done that, you can kind of shape it, and you kind of like bend it down by holding down left click once, and then you do it a second time, and you can change the curve of that even more so. So you can make just really neat shapes. You can kind of just mess around with it and whatnot. Then there's the oval circle tool. You got a rectangular square. You've got the more rounded rectangular square. You've got this thing, which is really weird. It basically makes it to where you can connect the lines into making a single shape, which is neat. Let's stick that right there. Got the little triangle tool. Another thing that I like is once you place down the shape, you can actually move it. And you can even mold it a bit too. Then you got this more angled triangle. You got a diamond. You got this. So many different shapes. I like the arrows. Arrows are pretty neat. You've got this up arrow. You've got a down arrow. The possibilities are just endless. You've got like different types of stars. Look at that. Little bubbles, so you can make like, you know, comics and whatnot with it, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, let's remove all this. And now we're going to show you a really cool function here called Edit Colors. So basically you have any of these base colors, but you can literally make any color that you want just by you know, pulling down the left click and going over to whatever color you want to have, and then you can change the shade of it, like the lightness, the brightness and darkness of it, which I think is cool. And you can add it to a custom color, so you can get a whole string of custom colors here, and it'll appear at the bottom. So you can just make whatever you want with it, really, which I think is cool. It also does support keyboard shortcuts. So if you don't like what's happening, you can always press the shortcuts like Control-Z undo and whatnot. It's got copying and pasting for the keyboard shortcuts. Literally all the keyboard shortcuts that, you know, are just basic, they have them there. Let's check out View now. So under View, you can actually zoom in and zoom out, and it's got a couple extra functions here. So for display, you can actually flat out go full screen with it, and it'll show you the whole, you know, image. And with the show or hides, they have rulers, which allow you to kind of like measure out a little bit better. They have grid lines, which is very useful for making like pixel art. So if you wanted to like just bring in here, and you wanted to zoom into like the max, and you could kind of, you know, make a little pixel art, which I think is pretty cool. And then there's a status bar, which with the status bar will actually allow you to have the zoom function way easier accessible. It'll show you how many pixels this is. So if you're looking for a very specific pixel size, it'll tell you how many pixels it is, which I think is very useful. If you don't know any of the keyboard shortcuts, if you go up here, there is actually a redo and an undo button. And I think that's very useful. If you go into the file here, they actually have a function where, say you drew something that you really liked. In fact, I'm gonna make something real quick here. We'll go yellow, and we're gonna make. We got this. We're gonna type in egg. This is a bit too. Egg, and then I'm gonna do a little. There we go. And then we can use the fill tool. So let's go with a different color. Let's go for like a pink, and then we can fill in these little bubbles here. Like that, and then we can even sign it. So let's sign our name here. Sex, beast. Master 69. Nice. Okay. Actually, let's make this a little bit darker in the center here. fact, let's go to edit colors. Let's make this just a bit darker. And then we can do the very center one. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so now you have that. You can open a brand new file, which are empty files. You can save it, and you can save it as many different files. You can do any format you want, really. So I'm just gonna save it here. If you have a printer at home, you can actually print it like directly. I don't have a printer that I use for one, but if you have a printer, you can actually print out the creation that you've made. You can send it as an email, which I think is cool. Or one of the coolest things I see here is that you have desktop backgrounds. So if you have a desktop background that you really like, I do really like mine personally. But just for example, we're going to show you that you can actually set the desktop background. So I'm going to go ahead and select, you can select fill, tile, or center. I'm going to select fill. It's looking a little bit blurry though, because it hasn't stretched out. So I'm going to just test out. Here's tile. So what tile looks like. I really like the tile one. It's pretty great. Then actually, I'm gonna do one more change here. No, I like the white. I like the white. So, and then we have the center. Perfect. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go back to the fill. Fill is fine. Then of course we have properties. So in properties you can set a custom width and height. You can even change the way that the units are done, whether you want inches, centimeters, or pixels. You can make the colors to be color or black and white. I personally don't do that. But there's also a quick thing that'll send you over to Paint 3D, which I'm not going to be talking about Paint 3D today. That's going to be something for another video, possibly the next video. But this has been an overview of MS Paint. I think it's a great program. You can really do anything with it. The possibilities are endless. However, like if you want something that's like really complex, this isn't the thing. This is very beginner level. But I definitely suggest it. I give it a 7 out of 10.